you stand, the way you do you. Blueberry motherfucker, you. That's right, blueberry motherfucker, you. You act like you own the place. In the Cuban yard, you're far away. Blueberry motherfucker, you. Saving my nickels and dimes, taking my time so I can get my bone and structure from blueberry motherfucker, you. I know you're gonna produce. I got to save up, I gotta invest in you. Blueberry motherfucker, you. You are the best, cleaner than the rest. Blue, sweet blue, you sexy motherfucker, you. We love you, we sure do. Drink you like blueberry juice, blueberry motherfucker, you. I've seen many blue dogs, but none are like you. Blueberry motherfucker, you. You blueberry motherfucker, you. You got me waiting and waiting, gave me the blueberry motherfucker blues.
What is going on, guys? I hope you liked that little intro we got with Blueberry and the Blueberry MFer Blues. Yes, by the way, we have a special guest today. His name is Sean, all the way from Pennsylvania. I'm going to let him introduce himself here in a minute. We're definitely going to be talking bullies tonight, guys, but we're also going to be talking crypto, which is I was just talking with Sean before I bring him on, and we're seeing how creepy some of this crypto stuff could actually become. And so, it's really going to be crazy. Sally Adams, nothing but love. Thank you for joining us. We got Malachi, JR Malero, Shay Tree. We got Cyber Nomad says, crypto's up 200%. I used the gains to buy a new sire. That is perfection. Maurice Humboldt in the house. What's up, fam? I wish I would have jumped into crypto before the election. Yeah, man, we got A&W saying hello to everybody. We got Pastor Beers, Bully Kennels. Hey, what's up, QBN? Nothing but love for you, man. We got Rican Blues. Good evening, fam. Got my order today. Nothing but love, bro. Rican Blues, he won himself some Nuvet. We got it shipped out, and he received it. Just so happens that I misread the order and shipped it to the wrong place, but that was no issues. I got a hold of Nuvet, and we made it happen. That's not an issue. We got Miss Fredia Strevia. We got Xena. The Blueberry Blues. Yes, that's how we roll nowadays. Adam Fields, nothing but love for you, man. Thanks for joining us. Michael Higgins said, what's up, Raul? I'm excited about the show tonight. I love to learn about crypto. Let's get it. Guys, listen, I want to ask you guys a question before I bring my guest on, right? I'm going to go ahead and create a poll. And what I want you guys to answer is how many of you, or better yet, I'm going to say, how do you feel you, maybe not that way. Let me say, how much do you feel you know crypto, right? And then I'm going to have several responses. Please let me know. You could be novice, okay? You could put on there novice. Hold on a second, man. This thing just, there you go. For some reason, it turns the text black, but I'm going to put on there novice. And then I'm going to say, how would I say it? Not expert, but kind of like gotten your feet wet. There you go. Your feet wet. And then lastly, I'm just going to put on there expert. And I want you guys to go over to the community tab right here on this channel. And I want you to please go ahead and pick one of the three. Don't worry, it's completely anonymous. Your name's not going to come up or anything like that. But I think it's going to be kind of cool for us to bring it up and for us to kind of know who's in the room with us. I'm bringing on Mr. Sean Gallagher all the way from PA. Let me give you a quick background on Sean. Sean contacted me, I want to say about 3 years ago. Could be a little bit more than that, about 3 years ago. And at the time, we had a litter with my boy Power. And he got himself one amazing pup. Not only did he get himself an amazing pup, it just so happens that I was driving to go to Danny's show in Allentown. Danny was being part of a show in Allentown, Pennsylvania. And I said, you know what? We're going to load this pup up. We're going to deliver it ourselves. And that's exactly what I did. So without further ado, let me bring on my man, Sean Gallagher, man. What's up, brother?
Hey, brother. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing good, Sean. Did I miss anything as far as how we met, or not met, but how we got to know each other and how I got the puppy to you?
Yeah, I mean that was so nice of you. You know, we're from our house to your house, it's 33 hours.
Yeah.
It's so
That's quite a drive.
When you said, "Oh, I'm coming up for a show," and you said I could bring him, I was, you know, super thankful. And every day, I mean, he's my little angel. He's such a lovable dog. You can't get enough of him.
How old is he now?
Well, April 24th is his birthday. So he'll be 4 in April.
Wow, man.
Yeah.
Time definitely flies, man. Definitely flies. Let me ask you this, Sean, just out of curiosity, what got you into American Bullies?
Well, my first pit is what got me into the Bullies. I found her as a stray, and she was such a sweetheart. Never found the owner, ended up keeping her, and she changed my mind. I only knew the stereotypes that you heard in the news, all the bad stories and all that. So actually, I was afraid of her in the beginning. And then my grandmother used to have a dog that smiled. Like if you say smile, you'd smile. And this dog comes up on the side of my car and is smiling. It's just this big wiggle worm. I was like, oh, you can't be bad. And she changed my mind. And ever since then, you know, I've been in that. And when I became aware of bullies, you know, we wanted to get in, you know, we had lost our dogs, passed away, and I wanted to get a bully. And so it was, to find you, it was a good year and a half of watching your videos and looking at other people. And then it just kept on coming back to you. And I'm so thankful.
For a reason, man. For a reason. Let me ask you this. That dog you got from us, right? Mm-hmm. Does he suffer from allergies? What's his temperament like? And I mean, talk to me.
He is even as a level. You know, he is just straight happy, silly as anything. And he's twice as high as our female, and he's so gentle with her. You know, that was my tomboy as far as my female. I played rough with her, so she kind of plays rough with him, and he's just ever so gentle with her. Yeah, I'd never even heard him growl all 3 years. Never seen his hair go up. Never heard him growl.
It's funny you say that. His half uncle, my boy Congo. This boy I'm going to bring up in the screen here in a second. This boy right here. I've never heard him bark. I've never heard him growl ever. Yeah. Real quick. Let me stop real quick and just say what's up to Miss Zena. She decided to become a QBN member, and nothing but love, Miss Zena. Hold on a second. And
pues claro que sí, cabrón.
It's claro que sí, cabrón. We ring that every time we have a new member. Ms. Zena, thank you so much for joining us. You know, we're doing this every single Monday at 7 p.m. CST. We're also coming on Fridays. I kind of want to try things a little bit different. Don't get me wrong. We're still all about bullies, man, all about bullies. But I think it's important that we bring people on here, such as, for example, Sean Gallagher, that have a little bit more knowledge and information on things like we were talking for this particular show, cryptocurrency. A lot of us, I could tell you, me personally, I'm not the most knowledgeable, but I definitely want to put in the time and ask the right questions and at least have an idea as to what's happening, because a lot of people don't want to know about cryptocurrency. But the truth of the matter is, if you don't know about it, technology will pass you. And when it knocks on your door and you have no other choice but to use it, it's already way too late. And so we kind of want to give a heads up. I'm going to leave the floor for you here for a second, Sean, with this question. Real quick, for this question that I want to ask you is, give me a nuts and bolts. I am a 5-year-old in front of you, and I am asking you, what is cryptocurrency?
So, okay. So basically, it's the evolution of our economy into the future, where businesses and everything, the warehouses and everything are holding less and less and less, either storage and all this stuff, where crypto, the ultimate endpoint will be everything is digitized and everybody can do everything streamlessly. And you don't need either, it's not under the government's control. It's really about personal freedom. And putting finance back as a utility in our hands. The beginning of our country, we had what was called colonial script, because the founding fathers realized that a standing bank or a central bank in a country is the most dangerous force to the military, turning on it. So
Okay.
at the beginning, we had a currency that was a utility where it was based on a unit of labor, so it couldn't be traded on the stock market and all that stuff. They were still doing stuff like this then. Basically, they would put bonds on wars and bet on wars, who would win, who would lose. And then it just evolved from there. But so in the beginning, this is the reason why we had a Revolutionary War, is because we had our own money. And when England and the bankers over in England found out that we weren't in a depression like the rest of the world, because we had control of our money, which is what we don't have now. And right now, we're forced to use a private currency that acts like the world's dictator right now with sanctions.
Stop right there for a second. Stop right there for a second. So, and I'm interpreting what you're saying, Sean, and please correct me. My field of expertise, if I have one, is going to be more on the bully side than the financial side. But let me try to resume what you just said. So basically, what we need to comprehend is that the Federal Reserve, is an autonomous entity to the United States government. So when Sean is saying that we're dealing with a foreign currency, or a currency that isn't ours, or that we're renting or using, or whatever term you want to use, what he's referring to is this Federal Reserve, who has full autonomy and is away from the U.S. government, decides what's going to happen with the money supply. And we're also able to levy sanctions on countries because, as we all know, the international reserve is in dollars. So, for example, if you wanted to buy a barrel of oil, and say Venezuela, who's in South America, wants to sell a barrel of oil today to Colombia, who's its next door neighbor. Colombia has Colombian pesos. Venezuela has bolivars. But the standard of international trade of oil, it must be done in dollars. Therefore, Colombia has to pay Venezuela in dollars in order to get their oil. Now, this is what Sean is referring to. What ends up happening is we'll have politicians, whether for the good or for the bad, start levying sanctions to countries around the world. And this not only pisses off our adversaries, but there are neutral parties surrounding these countries that we're levying these sanctions on that are like, holy crap, if I step the wrong direction, it might be me next. And that creates financial uncertainty. Am I following you correctly, Sean?
Yeah. And the other part that I would say is, in regards to right now, the banking system, we have to go into debt before we print a dollar the way it is right now. And then they charge us interest on it. And it's free for them to use and create, and we have to pay for it. Not only with, what the principal was, but interest on that principal that they never made. So this system is really a modern day slavery system that we all, go out every day and we work in.
What you're telling me is for
Crypto's
every dollar that is printed, can you repeat that phrase again? For
Yeah.
every dollar that is printed, what?
We have to go in debt first. So
Why?
yeah, because we're using a private currency. We're not printing, the Constitution says the Treasury will coin money, print money, right? But we've abdicated that authority to the Federal Reserve in 1913. We were sold down the river with this. And basically, ever since the Fed, we started using the Fed's dollar. It's called a Federal Reserve note is a proper name. And ever since then, we've been going into nothing but debt. You can look at history and look at where our debt was. When JFK was president, our total debt was $4 billion. Now it's 36 trillion.
36 trillion. And I just heard that, and I'm sorry I'm making this prelude, but I just heard that when Trump gave the presidency over to Joe Biden, it was at 20 trillion, and we've gone from 20 to 36 in 4 years.
Yeah. It's I think it's around 8 trillion. Prior to that, from like 2004 to when President Trump got out, it was like 11 trillion was made in more debt during that whole time. And then these last 4 years have been 8 trillion. Right now, we're paying $1 trillion every 100 days for interest. That's not paying off the debt. It's like a credit card. Once you get that built up, you're not getting it paid back unless you do something crazy.
Let me ask you this and try to explain it to me in basic layman's terms, okay? I'm sure a lot of people that are watching us live and a lot of people that are going to be watching this afterwards are going to want to know. We hear a lot of the country going into debt, right? What we don't comprehend sometimes is how does that affect us directly? I'm talking about on a daily day. How does the country being so far in debt affect us directly?
Putting food on your table. Every time you enter a store, you're feeling it. When you come home and at the end of the week you get paid, you're feeling it because you're like, damn, I $20 last week bought me this. This week I don't even get it now.
So are you saying because of debt, inflation happens?
Exactly. You can't print without inflation. You can't.
Okay.
And
so
if you stop the money supply, then you increase defaults and foreclosures and businesses going out. Somebody's got to pay the bill.
Okay.
It's just what it is.
Let me ask you this. Let me just ask you this. 4 years ago, I'm able to remember this. I don't know if you can. How much were you paying for a gallon of milk, roughly, 4 or 5 years ago?
Half. Sound like Eddie Murphy. Half.
Half. Okay. I could tell you this. I just got off the phone with my mom about an hour and a half before coming on live. And she told me that she just finished paying $5.25 for a gallon of milk
Mm.
in
Yeah, it was
Miami.
99 cents.
I mean, it
So what it
definitely.
does, printing steals your wealth through inflation.
Okay.
So,
So go ahead. I'm
mm,
sorry. I keep interrupting you. Go ahead. We have
so
like a
during
1 second delay. Go ahead.
so during these times when the economy is, and we've been lied to about the economy for a while now. It's all make believe stuff, and right now the world is going into a depression. They're keeping it all quiet. Everybody's bankrupt. The total debt for countries and
Yes.
just their sovereign debt is over 400 trillion.
And it
The
will
world's
never be paid. It
it's
will
never
never be paid.
we've never been at this point in our life, and we've never had a global economy tied to one currency. So everybody's interconnected. So right now, my wife's Chinese, so I was in China this summer.
Okay.
It's really bad over there. There's homeless people all over the place. People
Wow.
don't have jobs. They are so depressed right there now that they have this movement that's called lying flat. And that means they're just not going to do anything. They're just going to sit at home and eat, and that's it. Eat and sleep. They don't want to have children anymore because it's so hard to raise. So again, this is a result of inflation and printing the currency that's not attached to a commodity. See, before our dollar was attached to 40% gold. You
Correct.
could actually turn it in and get gold. And now, when it
That
was
was when
taken,
Nixon was that not when Nixon sometime around 1970
yeah,
was
people say
71,
it was
72?
him, but it was actually Franklin Roosevelt that did it in 1933.
Okay.
And if you want to look up a nice piece of history, look up Executive Order 192. It was the bankruptcy of America where they turned over all our assets, whether we liked it or not, to the Federal Reserve.
Mm.
Executive Order 192.
To a private institution, to a third party
Mhm.
that's not technically part of the U.S. government.
No, the people that own it are over in the city of London, in London. There's 3 autonomous areas on the planet, and it's one corporation that rules them all behind the scenes.
Are you talking about BlackRock?
No,
Okay.
no, autonomous areas. So in our country, District of Columbia or
Yes.
DC is
Yes.
autonomous. It's not part of our country. You have
Hmm.
now we're the military wing. And then the financial wing is actually in the city in London. There's a place called the City, and it's autonomous. And that's where all the big guys, the real big guys are. And then you have the Vatican, which is another autonomous area, and that's the religious part of
Oh
that
yeah, I
corporation.
love it. You hit it. You hit the nail on the head. Real quick, let me answer a bully question. We're going to get back to that. The Vatican. Why does it not surprise me? Real quick, I have Zena. She says, any tips on thickness on the forearms, as in above the front pasterns, if you get me, and I do get you, without affecting health or possibly going overweight? Zena, here's the deal. Where you're talking about, right? That arm, you have both ulnar and brachial bones, right? Um, Here's the deal, sweetheart. That is straight genetics. I mean, you can definitely add weight to the dog, and it's gonna pad it, the skin area and the layer right underneath. But there's no way you're going to make that bone thicker. There's nothing that you're going to do there. Please do not think that you can add, calcium to the diet and it's going to make the bone. Actually, if you add too much calcium, you're going to cause a disaster. Okay. Because calcium and phosphorus are antagonistic to each other, believe it or not, when it comes to making bone. And too much of one and a lack of the other will actually create more issues. So unfortunately, the only way you're going to be able to create that in a bigger mold is going to be through genetics. There's just no way around that. Real quick, we have Rican Blues saying China's overpopulated. Shade Tree says repetition, uphill,
Hey,
or
Captain
goat
Obvious.
ramp. Oh, okay, so Shade Tree was giving advice on going on a goat ramp, but Shade Tree, unfortunately, what you would grow would be the muscle, but not necessarily the bone. Zena says, what crypto would anyone recommend right now? So wait, let me just say this. We are not financial advisors. We do not have a financial advisor's license or anything like that. We're just doing this for entertainment purposes only. I will say I do have a degree in political science, which means absolutely nothing, except I have a lot of history classes that I took, and I almost am able to connect certain dots. That's all. Sean was brought here to just give information and also his thoughts. We are going to be talking about crypto coins, guys. I can tell you we're talking all this so we can give you the background, for example, on one particular coin that's being talked about a lot recently, and that's XRP. But we cannot advise you to jump on any one of these coins. What we can advise you is you could hear us, but you need to go do your own research before you do any of that. I don't want you to think that we're giving you any type of advice or anything like that. Sally Adams says, so what do we do, Sean? We forgive each other's debt and start over? The world has over $400 trillion in debt. Sean, how are we going to fix this problem, Sean?
Well, drastic measures. No matter, there's really no easy way out of this now. You know, we've dug the hole so far.
You tell me that 400 trillion we owe the Rothschilds.
No, the world, the all the sovereign debt for all the countries on the planet is over 400 trillion. Yeah, there's only two countries that don't have a Rothschild bank or on the Federal Reserve System, and that's North Korea and Iran. And that's a big reason why they're the big boogeyman all the time, because they're trying to get that bank in there to, to get all control of all of them.
I know Iran for a fact has a lot of oil. And I guess if you own their banking system, you own basically, in a way, all of their assets, right?
Yeah.
Because they got to pay per transaction, per movement, per whatever.
Yeah. So to get a good idea, like in a graph and see it, how drastic it is once a central bank comes in to your country.
Yes.
You just have to look to the north in Canada. They didn't have a central bank until around the 90s, and they had no debt. None. Zero. And then they put that bank in there, and now they're just like we are. They're all bankrupt.
Wow.
So this is a difference between when you have a currency that is not a utility for people. It's only a utility for the people who own the banks and own all the stuff. Where, that was what was so different in the founding of our country, and which made us a economic powerhouse so fast, is because we printed our own currency. It was a fiat currency like what we use now, and fiat means it's not backed up with anything, really. Okay. It's not attached to a commodity. And crypto now is a utility. If you learn this, it's a utility for the average man to take banking into his own hands. That's the whole thing about this. The one thing that's, because everything is going to be monetized through the cryptocurrency now. In Ripple, that's, Ripple's the parent company of XRP. Yeah. That's their objective, to digitize and monetize everything and get a piece. And every time you have that token, eventually you're going to have passive income, not just the exponential growth of it.
Explain that to me slowly, and like I was somebody that barely speaks English, right? Just break it down nice and slow, because I want people to understand this part. I think it's really important.
Yeah. So it's a big thing.
What you're telling me is, say, for example, me, I have family in Venezuela, and say every now and then I want to send them $100, just for the sake of argument.
Mhm.
And when I send that $100, whether it's through Western Union or whoever, I'm getting charged here $13. Let's
Mhm.
just throw a number out there. So you mean to tell me that if somebody owns this currency, they could loan it to me as long as I pay them the $13 and it gets shipped over there? Or how would that work?
So yes and no. So
Okay.
when they looked at the SWIFT, we're talking about the SWIFT system that we control, and everybody to this part right now has had to use it. Now the BRICS have come up with a system because of those sanctions.
Can you tell me who BRICS is? Because I know I
So-
have a lot of people watching don't know what BRICS is.
Yeah, so BRICS is an acronym. It stands for Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa.
Yes.
And their plan was to de-dollarize because of the sanctions. And I'm going to go back to XRP with this point too.
Okay.
So they were able to be sanctioned because they had to hold dollars to do trade. All the countries had to hold dollars. And we benefited from that because when you print money here, because everybody has to hold it, they get the inflation and we don't. So that's why everybody's economy is up and down and crashing and all that stuff, for the simple reason we're the only game in town. And they
Right.
and then when you get a political leader in there that doesn't want, wants to do something, they use our currency as a political weapon for geopolitics to try to either remove governments or destroy them. And so now when you're getting back, and so this system, you have to have pre-funded accounts all over the whole world for it to work. XRP, you don't have to have that. XRP is basically the middleman for every transaction, and your funds and the transaction are done in 3 seconds. Not like when we send money, like you were saying, you got to send that money, wait for it to clear,
Right.
and then you can access it. This is instant.
Can I stop
Immediate-
you there? Can I stop you there for a second? Let me answer this question. And Saratha's asking, do any of y'all take payment for dogs in crypto? Just wondering. Guys, let me know if you take payment in crypto. In fact, let me go ahead and add that question. Excellent question, Saratha. I'm going to add that question on the community tab. Does any breeder out here accept crypto as payment? I think is an interesting question to ask, because whether it's a yay or a nay, I think it's just a matter of time before it's going to be a complete yay. It's just the direction in which the world is moving in. Real quick, Squirrel Master saying, look at 2021 chart from the last bull run. Zena says, I've heard of it, but always do your research and have a team with you on that. And that is correct. Big Island Bully Fam says, aloha cousins, aloha cousin. Shaka to you. We got Squirrel Master. POW tokens are better in my opinion than, whoa, I'm not going there. You get transaction fee for sending, which is taken from the coins during the transaction. All right. Charged by blockchain, right? I'm not sure what you're referring to. Zena says, QBN, NFTs or crypto on the works. Hey, actually, I will tell you straight up. I mean, I could talk to you about me. I just put a little money into XRP right now. For me, the way I don't know enough of this stuff. So the way I limit my exposure is, first of all, I never invest more than I can. First of all. Second of all, I invest just a little piece. And I have learned that if you're able to invest a little piece in several, and this is I learned from stocks, you're able to minimize your exposure, right? Minimize your risk. And I'm doing the same thing. For the first time I own coin. First coin I've owned is XRP. I'm not recommending it for everyone, but I will say, me personally, I made a small investment on it. And if it happens to be what people say it is, if it does go up to say $30, $50 in 2 years, I'm going to be a very happy camper. If it craps out and dies, it ain't the end of the world. All right. I'm sorry, Sean. Let me get to these real quick. Can you circumvent blockchain by using a ledger, or is that even possible? Can you answer that, Sean? I don't even know how to respond to that.
Blockchain is a ledger.
Okay.
The ledger. Yeah. Like XRP will run on RippleNet, which is it's Internet 3. There's multiple layers to the internet, and they created this whole space for that digital economy for the planet.
Okay. Okay. Miss Shaytree saying her brain hurts. Shaytree, I know your brain may be hurting, but just listen to what we have to say tonight, because I want people like myself that don't know much about this to be able to learn just a little bit at a time. Last thing I want to see is for this technology to get here and for us to not really know what's happening. Squirrel Master says, my crypto and sell and trade, no other investment made other than hardware and power. And all my hardware has ROID multiple times. Thank you, Squirrel Master. I will ask, because it kind of seems like you're pretty good on this subject as well, if you can kind of break things down, simplify them as best you can so we can all understand where you're at. I'm sorry, Sean. Go ahead, man. I had interrupted you. Continue, please.
So crypto is still an immature market. You have extreme fluctuations. You need to understand that, because you can get caught up in the momentum or all the hype and everything. And there's a lot of scams too with crypto. And the reason why they can do scams so easily is they can pump up this idea, oh, this is going to be the next best thing.
Right.
And you go to you put your money in there and you send it in a digital wallet, right? An address where you would invest to buy.
Yeah.
And it can disappear. Like if you put in the wrong address, the funds that you just sent are gone permanently. You can't find them. They just go off into the ether.
So for Bitcoin, I've heard a lot of people say, if you put in the wrong address and you sent it to the wrong place, it's gone. And you have no one to call. You have no access.
No Ghostbusters.
Does XRP
call the Ghostbusters?
Does XRP give you any type of assurance or anything to that extent?
Yeah, well, there's a security protocol, and the fact that the IMF bank, UBS,
International Monetary Fund, yes,
yeah, the UBS bank, what's it, Santander Bank. A lot of these banks are already using XRP for all their transactions now. When they want to send money, they don't use a SWIFT system. They use XRP because, the huge reason, one, the cost is like nothing to do that transaction. It's verified in 3 seconds and it's usable after those 3 seconds. So you have immediate reconciliation. You're not wondering about what's going on, where with Bitcoin, that does happen because like when I was in it in the early 2000s, middle 2000s, it would take 20, 40 minutes to verify that I actually went to the right place. And boy, you want to feel some stress during that.
Man.
So Bitcoin is not made to facilitate all trade. Ripple, the network that they've made is. And the reason why they're down now and they're getting all this hype is because the government's been trying to stop them in every way they can.
Okay. And why would the government want to stop them?
They want to keep their game. They want to keep on making the money.
But you said the Federal Reserve wasn't part of the government. So is it the government? Is it the Federal Reserve, or is it the interest of the Federal Reserve that's inside of the government?
So there's a Rothschild that said this in the beginning, even of our country. I don't care about the politics. I just want to control the bank. I control the country then.
Right. You got access to the money. Real quick, we have a question for you. And this coming from our girl all the way over there in the Big Island. That's Hilo, Hawaii. Big Island Bully fam says, so how does anyone have protection of crypto losses done by hacks?
Yeah. You take it out of where it can't be hacked. There's a thing called a cold wallet, which is, I'll show you. This is one I have. You can't see it. Sorry.
Yeah, there you go.
It just looks like a small phone with a LED screen on it. And think of it as a safe, and it's completely offline. There's no electricity in it. So what you do when you purchase, you don't leave everything on the exchanges, because anything online can be hacked. And we've all seen this, right?
Okay.
So you take it offline, you download it into this, right?
How much does one of those cost?
Oh, they're not expensive. I mean, you can from anywhere from 50 to almost 200.
What are they called again? A cold wallet?
Yeah, cold wallet, because it's not, hot. It doesn't have electricity hooked up to it.
Oh, okay.
The
But
one thing that is very important with these is there's what's called keys. Okay. And that's the encryption to be able to, basically the password for you to be able to use it. Okay. You need to make sure that you have that in a very safe place, because if you forget it, it's almost impossible to get into one of these things.
Redline Frenchie says, I lost a wallet back in the day and been sick ever since.
Yeah. I bet.
I can imagine, man. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Real quick, we have Squirrel Master. Let me bring you up. Right here. Squirrel Master is saying when you create a wallet, you get 12 to 16 seed word phrase, which is your security. If anyone gets your keys, then they can steal your crypto, or if your wallet interacts with a bad actor, they can steal, I guess, your crypto.
Well, yeah, but if it's offline, they can't. Once you download it and you don't leave it hooked up to your computer. You take it, you put it in a safe space that you're never going to lose it. And that's right, what he said. And there's also vaults now that I just bought one that can survive in fires for hours, and you keep it in there. It's a vault for your keys.
Good to go.
Yeah,
good stuff. Let's get back to why the government is suing XRP and not wanting XRP to do business. Why is it costing the government money?
Yeah. So the thing is the SEC is viewed it as crypto as securities, and they go after them with that authority. And XRP is not the only one, but XRP is the biggest one. Okay, that they went after.
The biggest one? So you mean to say XRP is bigger than, say, Bitcoin?
Yeah, one time the market value, XRP surpassed Bitcoin in the beginning.
Well, some people have told me that Ripple or XRP were actually in existence before Bitcoin. Can you verify?
Yeah, they were the first. Yeah, they were the first. There was a man in Durham College over in England that wrote a paper about it prior to Bitcoin. Yeah. So, and the thing is, when you talk about the market cap, if XRP goes to $30 a coin, it'll eclipse Bitcoin's total market cap right now.
So stop right there. And I know I'm stopping you and starting you, but I want people to be able to follow at home. So right now, what I got on the screen here, let me just move it over so y'all can read it. So if you notice, the market cap is 139.59 billion. This is in reference to how much XRP is out there. Am I correct, Sean?
That the market cap, not the tokens, the total tokens,
right.
but the market cap.
Right.
Yeah.
And each token has a price depending, based on what I just showed you, which is right up here, which is showing you live what the price is. So this price is going to fluctuate. based on the amount of tokens that are out in the market, along with the price of each particular token. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay. And talk to me a little bit about this screen that we have here. So that's what market cap is. 24-hour volume, it says 13 billion, 82 million. If this number is higher, is that good? If this number is lower, is that good? What's good and what's bad?
Well, volume is what the market is doing. Is it going up or down? Right. So if you're
if it's going down, does the volume go negative?
Yeah, it'll drop because there's less trades. You know, if I buy 10,000 now and I sell it tomorrow, the market's going to reflect that. There'll be 10,000 less.
Okay, I see. So basically that 13.82 is what was sold?
That was the all-time high, and that was around 2017 or 2018. And at that point, it was higher than Bitcoin market cap, just at 384.
Okay.
So there's a difference between the two to comparison. Bitcoin has a finite amount, 21 million coins. That's it. XRP doesn't have that. You know, most of their coins right now are tied up in escrow with the lawsuit. So there's going to be a flood come on the market. There's a lot of things that are coming for XRP. The President Trump has already said he's going to have a sovereign fund for the country with Bitcoin, and that he wants to be the mecca for Bitcoin on the planet and also crypto. And he's already met.
Hold up. So you're telling me that Donald Trump, hold on, man. You can't just say that and just, conveniently keep walking with the conversation. So you're telling me basically that Trump is transitioning basically to XRP as the nation's reserve?
No, he's using Bitcoin right now as a sovereign fund, not he's creating another reserve fund, which potentially could pay off our debt in the future. But nevertheless, it's an asset, which is good. I wish they would back our currency with gold, because then they can't print, like crazy with it. It has to be tied to what we have on our person or in our country. It's just a lot safer, stabler system when it's tied to a commodity instead of a politician that just wants to do whatever with it. No.
I couldn't agree with you. I couldn't agree with you more with that. Please, man, continue enlightening us. I'm going to try to go ahead and put this graph right above us as we speak, so people can see the price of XRP as we're talking.
Yeah, Bitcoin is more of a storage of value. XRP will come to that point.
Okay.
And then, in the near future. There is a lot of stuff coming down the pike. What shot up the price of Bitcoin was BlackRock coming out with their ETF, electronically exchanged fund. So you buy a piece of Bitcoin. So it puts it in, available in everybody's hands, right? And that's the thing. You don't have to buy
break that down to me. Does it mean you could buy, say there's a house for sale and the house is worth $100,000? Does that mean that through that ETF, I could buy, say, 8% of that house and own 8% of that house?
That's the idea with XRP is coming. That's eventually what they want to do. They want to tokenize even homes, everything. So this is basically, like I said, the evolution of our economy and where it's going to go. And it's going to exponentially increase the speed of the world's economy.
Can you give me an example? Can you give me an example of what a tokenized world would look like? You wake up in the morning and you get in your car. How would you token to start your car? Do you got to pay a token? How does that work?
No, but if you think of it, it's kind of like when we put the virtual reality goggles on us, and we become in a whole nother ecosystem and all that.
Yes.
That's where it's going. It's digital, but we're going to interact with it like we normally would eventually. Like you can use it, you can have pay wallets in your phone, and you want to buy something, you just let it scan the QR code that'll come up, and you'll be able to pay for things that way. They're already
So,
doing that.
so you mean to tell me like, uh, if I was to, if we were tokenized, right? And I was to talk about the only multivitamin that we use here at QB and Kennel, which is nothing more than Nuvet and NuJoint DS. Basically, I could do this right here on the screen, and you got yourself 2 QR codes you could scan, and pretty much you could order it immediately by simply, I guess, bringing your phone up and.
Yep. Just like Google Pay. Same thing. Yeah.
Okay.
And I
Okay.
definitely would want to get paid in Bitcoin rather than a dollar, because $1 just monopoly money right now. There's no difference.
So let me mess with you. We got about 9 minutes, guys. If you got questions, I need you to hit us up. This has been an exceptionally good educational live. And again, I'm going to be touching on different subject matters just to try different things. But definitely, I think crypto, and Sean, you're definitely coming back on here. I'm letting you know already. So you're going to have to tell your wife she's got to make them egg rolls a little bit earlier. Just letting you know, man. Just letting you know. So let me ask you this, and I know you don't have an answer, but for the sake of entertainment, how soon do you think we're going to be demonetized as far as currency? Do you think it's going to take 10 years? Do you think it's going to take less than that? Realistically,
When you say demonetized, what do you mean?
I'm talking about the paper money, the bill
Purchasing power?
I'm sorry, no, not purchasing power. I know that's going to be transferred into crypto. I'm talking about the actual physical bill, the $1 bill, the currency, the note. When do you see the notes being completely extinct?
Well, absent a complete economic collapse, I think the dollar is going to be around for a while. President Trump wants to keep it as the world's reserve currency, and I hope he does, because we all benefit from that. We pay less. Like I went to Thailand this summer too, and every one of our dollars is 36 of theirs. So I immediately am like a rich man when I'm not. But it's like you pay for pennies about what you would pay here for goods and services. And when you mentioned Venezuela, with the sanctions, that was what caused Venezuela to go into hyperinflation. Their currency hyperinflated to 3,500%.
Yeah, it got to millions. At one point it got to like 3 million bolivars for a dollar.
And you couldn't buy anything with it.
You couldn't buy anything with it.
No. And so, that's going away either by BRICS or by crypto with XRP. You're going to be, it's the middleman for everybody to do trade on any currency and reconcile that trade or buying of goods in 3 seconds. And then it's immediately available. So you don't have to have a clearinghouse. You don't have to have anything.
Let me ask you this, because this is a hypothetical that I could see happening. So let's say XRP comes in and you got somebody in Romania wants to buy an American Bully from me. And I tell the guy, hey, man, it's $5,000. And dude presses a button and boom, in 3 seconds, I have $5,000 here. That's all fine and great. What happens if Romania backs Russia's invasion of Ukraine? What can the U.S. then do to stop people from Romania in order for them to apply financial pressure under those terms?
They can't do a thing outside of breaking law and outside of taking money out of the real big guys, the real richest people in the world, not Elon Musk, the Rothschilds and all them. You take that out of their hands then, because like I say, this is about personal freedom and liberty, and making a currency that is a utility for the whole world, not just us. So where it goes, it's amazing. We're going to witness, this is like, getting in on, Amazon when it was a penny or $1 or something like that, or getting into Apple when it was, $1, and so the thing is with this, the things that I already know that are planned and already been announced with using XRP is BlackRock, Goldman Sachs, Wisdom House are all have applied to make an ETF like BlackRock did with Bitcoin. And once that happens, forget about it. It's going to go through the roof. But the thing is, like I said, it is very, very risky right now. If you just jump in, you can lose everything. So you have to be super cautious, double check everything, verify people that are, you're listening to, and make an informed decision. Don't do it on momentum, and don't think, oh my God, I just bought it, today, and the next week it's half the price. That's a time that you go back in.
Right.
And that, like what you're saying, buy a little bit at a time, and it drops down because everything goes up, comes down.
I equate that so much to breeding dogs. So back in 2020, right, when these COVID checks were flying around, the demand for American Bullies, I won't say was at an all-time high, but it definitely spiked. It definitely spiked. I saw inflated prices. I saw dogs that were no more than pet quality being sold like breed quality dogs. I mean, the demand was outweighing the supply at the time, right? And what has happened since, of course, we've had inflation and we've had all these other things that have kind of slowed the economy down. And a lot of people that came in on a whim, same way that they came in, they have headed out. However, there are some breeders, obviously, that remain, and a lot of them have reached out to me and they're like, what do we do now? And what I've told them is, you see what I'm doing? Now's the time to double up. Now's the time to get the best bang for your buck at this time. Why is that? Because everything is cyclical. There's going to be ups, there's going to be downs. The downs, there's going to be times when you're down that you're never going to think it's going to be up. And sometimes when you're too far up, you think there's never going to be a down in sight. And it's completely cyclical. It's going to be going up and down, up and down. And therefore, I see this with XRP. Let me give you an example. 2 weeks ago, about 10 days ago, Sean told me, hey, he called me up. Hey, Raul, let me talk to you about XRP, this, that, and the third. I said, you know what, Sean, I'm going to go ahead. And I got fireball barking. I'm going to go ahead and, I threw $2,500 at XRP just to test it out. And coincidentally, it spiked. Literally, I put 250 in, and in a matter of 3 days, I was up $200, right? Ever since then, however, it has kind of came down. And that's because there's too much going around. Talk to me. What's happening? What's the forces that are actually pushing it down in your thoughts?
Well, what has pushed it down is the SEC, but that they've won. XRP, or Ripple, the parent company, the owner of XRP, has won. It hasn't been completely finished yet, but it's done. And the person who's going to come in to replace the SEC chairman is pro-crypto.
Yes.
President Trump picked him specifically because, this is a new frontier. If you remember Star Trek, maybe I'm giving up my age, but in the beginning it said to boldly go in the new frontier. And that's what this is. It really is like, it's the new frontier. And, like Bitcoin was less than $1 when it first came out. The first transaction was for Bitcoin.
I have no clue.
It's crazy. It was to buy a pizza. and it was, I think it was 20 Bitcoin, 20 or
Wow.
50 Bitcoin. Could you imagine that pizza guy is a billionaire now if he
Well,
kept
right
it?
now, can you tell me the price of one Bitcoin right now?
It's around 100 grand off the top of my head. I don't know exactly what it is. And that's
Wow.
just recent. It bumped from 60,000 to up to 100 on this run because the ETF came out, like what I'm saying about the ETFs that are going to be coming out for XRP. You know, if it gets up to $30 an ounce, a token, it surpasses Bitcoin, even up there at total
Because of
market
the
value.
amount of coins that are in circulation since
Yeah,
Bitcoin
you know,
is limited at
the
21.
institutional investors haven't really gotten into this yet. They're doing it now. They're in the process of doing it now because of the lawsuits done. And when they come in, those are big pockets. Right now, you're just seeing retail investors like us making this like that for the most part. There are what's called whales, which they come in and they either buy or sell, you know, like millions of coins.
Wow. Wow,
Yeah.
man. That's definitely something to keep an eye on. We did have Big Island bully fans saying, and again, obviously we can't teach anything, but
She's so
how
nice.
how would people start buying crypto? Is there an app or apps that
Yeah.
you can talk about?
Yeah. The one I use is public. You can trade anything on that, and you also have AI assistant to do research with. Um, I mean, it's a really good app. It's not the only one. As far as exchanges, um, I have Gemini because they were the first. They're actually a trust in New York, and they're backed with insurance. Public is also backed for your deposits as well. Um, I just found that one to be useful. You can have a ton of them, and there's a difference between market apps like Public or Binance. There's ones that are what do they call it? There's ones that are verified, and then there's ones that are unverified. So you got to be careful when you're getting into that stuff. But the ones that are, I forget for the lack of the word right now, unverified, you will find like the brand new coins. You have prospectus like this stuff. They'll print out this, okay, this is what our idea is, and do you want to invest in it? That's, that's really risky. Nothing's been done yet. They're talking about what they will do. Um, be very cautious with that. XRP is not going anywhere. This is really the future. Is it the only one? No, it's not. It's just the one that's the most developed right now to do commerce, where Bitcoin, it's more of a storage of value like gold is. It's hard to use. You got to use another coin to do purchases and things with it in any kind of speed. So for me, I love it. I wish, I was looking when I was in crypto at that time, I watched it go up to $100 and then 250. And my wife and I were like, geez, it's more expensive than an ounce of gold now. I mean, what is it? And if, I wanted to get it, but, we just didn't pull the trigger back then. And boy, if we did,
We would have been someplace else. So, Sean,
yeah.
let me ask you this, and we'll start wrapping this up real quick. So, you're a regular Joe. You're making about, I don't know, what's average money in Pennsylvania in a yearly? Let's just throw a number out there, 50, 60. Average
More.
Joe.
Well, yeah,
More?
average. Yeah.
70.
60. Average is 60. That's
60.
the country's average, pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah.
So right now you're making $60,000 a year after you pay everything off. You in a month, that is, you basically have, I don't know, let's say $1,000 on a monthly basis spending money. You paid your rent, you paid your light, you paid your car note, you paid all these things, and you have $1,000 left over. Just you, Sean. I don't want recommendations or nothing. Just you.
Yeah. What would I do?
How much do you invest in XRP of that $1,000?
Well, I got a couple grand I'm gonna be putting into it right now. So,
But we're not talking about Sean right now. We're talking about just Sean
in the future. So the thing is, what's so great about crypto is you can find something to invest in. There's stuff that are less than a penny. There's stuff like Bitcoin that's 100,000. There's everything in there.
You're not following me. You're not
Oh,
following
my
me.
bad.
I want you to look
Well,
at
yeah, that's what I was saying is anybody can invest in it. If you have $1,000, you can do all kinds of things with it.
But I'm just saying, you're a regular guy. You're only
Yeah.
making $1,000 a month.
Yeah. Well, I'm talking like $50.
You don't know much
$100.
about crypto. You don't know much about crypto, right?
Yeah.
What do?
Get on YouTube. There are really good channels on YouTube. You'll fastly find who the BSers are and who aren't. I don't have any channels to promote right now at all. Also about the other side of purchasing is, the tax man still wants his money, right?
Talk to me about that.
So there is a lot of really good videos from CPAs that talk about how to avoid tax and decrease it and all that stuff. For me, when I go in this, I'm not looking as short term. I'm looking at this. This is the future. And I'm just going to let it ride. Now, you can do that. If you want to be a trader, you can go in and out and do all that, and that's all fine. But it's a lot less stressful, because this market is so immature and it has all these fluctuations, whether, the media or what's happening, all these things. So it could be really stressful if you're just paying attention. Oh, it went up a penny. It went up. Oh, it went down. It drive you nuts.
Right.
So
Didn't
for me,
Trump say something about capital gains on crypto?
Well, yeah, well, I haven't heard him address that, but he wants capital gains in general. He wants to get rid of all tax, actually income tax, and raise that money with tariffs. And that's how our country used to run until the Federal Reserve. Our whole government was funded with tariffs before the Federal Reserve. Now it's funded with us taking debt.
I see. Real quick, we got Michael Higginson asking, how do you feel about XLM? And I'm going to go ahead and bring it up. You know anything about XLM?
I think it's another token that Ripple has, if I'm correct.
Stellar. Okay, let me bring her up. Let me bring it up so we can see it and talk about it. Come on. Sorry, guys. Internet. There we go. Boom. You guys should be seeing it on
Stellar.
the screen.
Okay. Yeah. I like Stellar. I'm looking more at what's Hedera, which is HBAR, because they're doing a collaboration with XRP.
Yeah.
Yeah, and HBAR right now is like, I don't know, 20 cents or something like that. Anybody can invest. You just don't put money that if you lose it, it crushes you.
So basically, we're gambling. I mean, let's call
Everything's
it
a gamble.
Yeah, let's call it for what it is. You're gambling. You don't gamble, $1,000 on the Dallas Cowboys. Please, out of all teams, that's the one team. Unless you're betting for them to lose, that's the one team you don't want to be putting money on. Straight up. Here you got HBAR on the Hedera. You got HBAR on the
36. Okay.
Yeah. Most definitely, we got Kauahi. Wow, I can't say it, and I lived in Hawaii. Kauahi. There you go. Kauahi lures, man. So yes, investing is definitely gambling, guys. Any investment is a gamble, and I equate it a lot to American Bullies. I can't help it. There is a correlation. A lot of times you'll have a coin or a stock or a yard that gets a lot of hype, a lot of hype, a lot of hype. You get a puppy from there, or you buy a coin or a stock, and then it really isn't that good, right? Or vice versa. You go to one that doesn't have a big name, price is really, 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 really low, and next thing you know, you got yourself a gem. And I mean, it could happen either way. HBAR, okay, Caspa. I guess Squirrel Master wants me to bring up Caspa. Let me see if I bring that up. I'm not sure what Caspa is. Guys, I'm learning all this. I guess Caspa is not. I'm learning all this. I'm definitely not an expert, but what I do know, and this goes for anybody that has invested in the past, which I guess we could call ourselves degenerate gamblers, right? If we're all investing. As an investor, you want to look at as much information as possible. It doesn't mean that it will absolve you of 100% risk, but we all know that the more information you have at hand, the better decision you have in front of you to make, or at least the odds you're able to stack them in your favor.
Can I say one thing?
Absolutely. Go ahead.
This is really not so much crypto as the economy in general right now in the markets. Everything is a bubble right now. Everything. Everything's ready to pop. In fact, it's starting to pop all around the planet now. We'll be the last to get it because we got the reserve currency. But if during this time, this is not doom and gloom. I'm actually hoping everything goes down because now I got everything on sale. Like after 2008, after the crash, you could have just thrown darts over your back and let it hit a stock and you were $1 million. You made $1 million. I mean, there's things that are not going to go out of business. People are still going to gamble in stress times. So, those stocks could be a good stock to buy during that time because they're all going to be down. I think there was one stock, I forget the one, it went down to like $2. 2 years later, it's $175 a share.
Jesus.
So I'm not saying all in on everything. What I'm saying is right now, everything is a bubble, where in crypto, it's not. It's not a bubble.
So you still have an art. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you use that, also silver is the most unvalued asset as it is right now. Silver is needed for everything, and with the future economy and everything, and we just throw it away in garbage dumps every time we throw away some modern equipment. Or geez, even our missiles have 200 ounces or 500 ounces of silver in them, and we just blow them up. Where gold, it doesn't. We have all that still above, it's still here.
Wow.
So there's a big, again, just like Bitcoin, there's only a certain amount. Now they're finding more, but most of the silver, unlike gold is deeper in the ground than silver is. Most of the silver has been found. We know this.
Squirrel Master is saying silver is in high demand for AI stuff.
Everything. You talk about the modern economy, everything needs silver. So, and God only made so much. Until we are able to get onto another planet, and do stuff there, we only have so much here. And just like Bitcoin, it will exponentially increase. The military is the biggest demand for it, actually.
Wow.
All militaries.
Sean, we have come to the conclusion. Over here, we do this thing we call outro, right? I mean, and please let everybody know what your name is, what your dog's name is. If you have a website, if you have a Facebook, if you want to shout out, if you just want to yell at the top of your lungs, it doesn't matter. Do or say something for the outro. And do me a favor, when you get off, don't get off. I'm going to talk to you backstage.
Yeah. Don't have a website. Just a regular man who really, I love to help people. Jesus taught us to help one another, and I just see it as doing that. It's, you know, it's nothing special or anything. It's just something that I feel I should do to help. I don't want anything else other than that. And my dog's name, originally, Raul named him Impact. And that, if you look up on his Instagram, you'll see the family tree for what I call Goku now. I named him Goku from the anime character. And he's just like that. He's so silly, happy, but yet he's super strong. Yeah, Sean Gallagher is on Facebook. Instagram is Sean Gallagher 60. Yeah, I mean, I'm not super big on social media or anything. I'm not trying to do it. You know, I just send stuff to my friends of interest for the most part. Yeah, Goku is he's an amazing boy. I'm so happy I met you, and so happy that I was able to get him from you.
Well, man, I appreciate you, Sean. We have Adam Fields saying, great live tonight, man. You guys already know we do Monday Bully Live every Monday at 7 p. We've been coming on here every single Friday, and we're changing things up. Do me a favor, guys. If you're not watching us live, or even if you are, once this live is over, can you please drop some comments? Let me know what you think of the topic. Let me know if you want us to dive in more for next Friday. Let me know if there's a different topic you want us to go. And also, do me a favor, give me a share, give me a like, give us some love so we could push this out to the algorithm. And before I go, I got to let you know, this has been Raul in the Q, catching you with this Blueberry Blues. Here we go.
Like blue eyes in a sea of blue, I can't stop thinking about you. The way you walk, the way you stand, the way you do you. Blueberry motherfucker you. That's right, blue, blue, blue. Blueberry motherfucker you. You act like you own the place. In the Cuban yard, you're far away. Blueberry motherfucker you. Saving my nickels and dimes, taking my time so I can get my bone and structure from Blueberry motherfucker you. I know you're gonna produce. I got to save up, I gotta invest in you. Blueberry motherfucker you. You are the best, cleaner than the rest. Blue, 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 sweet blue. You sexy motherfucker you. We love you, we sure do. Drink you like blueberry juice. Blueberry motherfucker you. I see me.